I thank you so much for all the outpouring of all the comments and the birthday cards, the birthday wishes. And so I just don't know what to say, really. So I'm going to continue. Like I said, I'm celebrating all month. I didn't want to just do it one day or 1 week, because then somebody will miss it and then they go, oh, gee, I wish I had been part of it. So you can. So don't worry. We're going the whole month of June. But now, oh, and I was so happy to finally be able to tell some of my story. So I will be giving you more little snippets as we go along, and I'm going to I'll call it so you'll know it when it appears as part of Jay's new life adventure. So you will know when I'm getting ready to just sit and talk. And that gives me a little time in between projects, and let some of you catch up on some of the projects you've been trying to catch up on. To just sit and just give me a little time to share with you some of my life story, the new adventure of Jay. Oh, so we've already taken care of the first job. So now we'll go to the next big, on down the road we'll go to the next big one, and then I'll get into the fun part. How did I get into crafts and the decorative painting, and then eventually into knitting? So we'll just take it a little at a time, and that way that will give me time to find some of my material, because it's all over the house, people. I've thrown away a lot. I've gone all over the house. I got stuff, just to bring a little sample of whatever it is that I'm going to speak about. So, but tonight, okay, I want to get right into it. This is our tutorial. This is my tutorial, the new sweater I've been working on. This is Jay's knit. Got my little corsage right here. This is Jay's knit Forget Me Not Eyelet lace sweater. Now, this is one that I've knitted. I started knitting a long time ago. I just needed something one time, I guess, to go somewhere, and I would just knit it all the time. I would just always keep one on my needle. In fact, just this week, one of my husband's football buddies that they played football in high school passed away, and I thought, oh man, I probably won't go to the funeral or nothing, but even that, I'm going to start one right away. I see the need to have one in black, just that quick. So as I finish up this video, I'll start one in black and just have it on the needles, when you see how simple it is. So this is a sweater. It's nice and cute. It's just very simple. It's only 4 rows, but it's fun. But the main thing is, you can dress it up or you can dress it down. I mean, it looks really cute. I tried to take some pictures with scarves. Let's see, where did I put that scarf? Here, I'm gonna just stand up for a minute. Grab this scarf, so you can dress it up. Jay loves a pretty scarf, or you could dress it down. I'll just take the flower off for a minute. My little corsage. We'll put that over there. See? Either way. It can go with jeans. It can go with my little capri pants. It can go with a pencil skirt. So, I just wanted to get this one in for the summer, because this is just a great knit for my new knitters. But if you're a seasoned knitter like me, you'll be able to whip through this and put it to memory. There's only one pattern. There's 4 rows, but there's only really one pattern row. And then the next best thing about it, it's a free-for-all. When I go through the yarns that I've got, I got a big stack right here. It's a free-for-all, as long as you're going to use number 4 weight yarn, and not a skinny number 4 weight yarn. It's, our main yarns, and I'll go over, and we're just going to use a size 9 needle, one of the needles we've used before, so you should have it by now. And that's it. So, what do you think? Are you on board? You think you might want to give this a try? Dress it up, dress it down. I love this sweater. I just make it in all different colors. But it is so simple. And like I say, it's a budget-friendly knit. It's not going to break your budget. It's something that you can knit and it looks pretty even in the acrylic yarn that I use, because that's mainly what I use. And if you want to use wool and all that, you know, go ahead, but you have to know how to handle all that. I don't do wool. There's no wool in my life. So, but you know, you're welcome to use whatever, but I'm going to share with you yarns that are most likely, most people that follow me, most likely you have some of this yarn or a lot of this yarn in your stash already. So, without further ado, I think that's it. I just wanted to come on and give this little intro and let you see what we're going to make. And so now we'll go into all the yarn and then an overview and just my regular process, and then I'm going to take you step by step. So, thank you again for celebrating my 71st birthday with me all month long. I just want to I am just thrilled. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So many birthday wishes. I'm telling you, who would have thought this a few years ago? I never would have thought this. But you just never know how life's going to work out. Really, you really don't know. But I'm glad that you're here to share it with me. All right, without further ado, let's get started in our tutorial. Jay's Knit Forget-Me-Not Eyelet Lace Sweater. Just for my friends. Okay, I normally start with an overview, but there's just so many brands of yarn that I wanted to go ahead and pull out. I thought I'd just go ahead and stack this yarn up. Like I said, this is a free-for-all. It's a very nice knit that you will be able to use over and over and over. And I'm telling you, this is going to be something for beginners. My friend Lutz, this is going to be one you're going to want to try. All right, get into the yarn. Like I said, most of this yarn, if you just follow me, if you follow my tutorials, you know that I just use regular big box store yarn. It's what I'm comfortable with. I don't have any problem with it. And, I knit a lot of things and I knit big things. And it would be silly for me to try to $200 every time I knit something and then try to share it. It just wouldn't be feasible. So this is, like I said, this is what I'm used to, but you can use any yarn of your choice. But I need it to be a number 4 weight yarn, not a thin, skinny number 4, but a nice regular size number 4. And all these brands you're going to recognize. Let's just start real quick. I'm not going to go through names. I'm just going to call out brands so if you can see. Now, if you're a small size, you may need, it depends on how many yards in a skein, but you'll probably need anywhere from, 2 to 3 skeins. So most of you can, if you can look and see if you have at least 3 skeins. All right, here's Red Heart Soft. Let me just make sure I'm on camera before I go through it all. Yes, perfect. All right, Red Heart Soft. Everybody knows this yarn. Love this yarn. This is one of my favorite. This is about the only Red Heart I use a lot of personally. All right, Red Heart Soft. All right, number 4 weight. You'll know. All right, here is Heartland. This is Lions brand, Heartland. I have this in a lot of colors. Now, this is not a summer color, but, everybody's not having summer. Some people are having fall and winter. So, anyway, but this yarn requires a number 9, but just that yarn. There's one. How about Deborah Norville Everyday? I have become to have a little more respect for this yarn. I thought, ooh, Deborah Norville, you know how you just start being... because Vanna is my favorite yarn to do sweaters with. For heavy winter sweaters, this is what I always use. I don't care what you say. It's a great yarn, and you can always match it, and I don't have to play any kind of yarn chicken. I just go over there and get it, and it just matches. And I love this yarn. Line brand, please don't start messing with it. But I had found a new respect for this Deborah Norville Everyday. That's a number 4. It will knit up great. All right, going to even more. My special yarn, my favorite yarn, Karen Simply Soft. God, I got it in every color. You see the basket when I'm sitting there behind me? Oh, that's just one basket. I got it because I always buy in when I buy yarn, I buy skeins of 4. That's just some I cannot stand to have to run if I run out or if I don't have enough. So anyway, but this is Caron Simply Soft. That's one you recognize. Here's one that I haven't used a lot, but I bought it after taking all that yarn, off my wall and getting rid of the Red Heart. Guess what? I turned around and bought some Red Heart. Well, because they've improved it. The Red Heart I took off the wall way back in some of my videos when I had glad bags, and I got more to come. It was old classic, old hard Afghan type Red Heart. Well, they've improved it a lot, I think Marley Bird, she uses a lot of Red Heart, but there's a lot of yarns that you could use. But anyway, there's Red Heart Super Saver, and here's stripes. So you can use stripes. You don't have to have just solid on this. Of course, a lot of you have Hobby Lobbies. I love this yarn. Now, it's not a great, it's an okay yarn. It's fine for, as you see, this is the color that I'm wearing the sweater. It will be fine. It's easy for easy care, easy wash, and it knits up fine. Now, is it going to maybe look like a real expensive yarn? No, but you have the choice. You can get whatever yarn you want. Just make it a number 4. Here it is in another color. And, of course, here is, some more of that Red Heart Super Saver. I think I might make this one. I think I'll put this one on the needle next. This is like a charcoal. Maybe not go real black, just go charcoal. I don't know. I got a black scarf with, I got a real pretty white and black scarf. Anyway, so this is like I said, I just was excited that finally, when you look at me, I'm trying to help use your stash. Anybody can just, okay, go out and just spend a lot of money for no reason, buying a bunch of yarn. You already got a yarn. People, I got so much yarn. I'm just trying to use what's in my stash and hoping that you are too. That's all. You don't have to prove to me how much money you have. Let me just give you this little tip. This is just free from Jay. I don't put my money in yarn. I put my money in real estate. I'll tell you that story coming on down the road. I put my money in real estate. All right. Now, so the next thing you need to know, a US number 9. This is a US number 9 circular needle. You can use any brand. I don't care about what brand you use. I love bamboos, and I'm going to keep on using because that's what works for me. I don't have no problem, and I got a lot of them. Because every time I get a coupon or I catch a sale, remember I caught that sale that year or so ago at Tuesday morning. I raked in like, I don't know, I was greedy. But that's okay. I love the bamboos. Nothing wrong with it. You will need some straight number 9s when we separate each front. You're going to need some straight number 9s to put each front on, and some caps, just regular stuff. And if you want the little ribbing on the sleeve, like on one of the sweaters I was wearing, then you're going to need, this time we'll drop down to a number 8 or a number 7 circular, 16-inch number 8 or a number 7 circular to put the ribbing on the sleeve. Whenever I have to pick up stitches for a sleeve, then I do drop down my needle size. And you know what? That's it. So now on to an overview of at least one of the sweaters so I can walk you through. And then, of course, I'm going to take my time and go through the formula, how to set it up. I spent, once I came on YouTube and realized you just can't put stuff out there. You got to show people that I worked this out. Now, I'm not an expert. And yes, you have to tweak it, just like I had to tweak it and all that. But at least I give you somewhere to start and how to make your formulas. I work from a formula because I got tired over the years of trying to keep up with 5 pages and 6 charts to do something simple. And most of the time I didn't even finish it. It was just too much. I had life going on. I was sitting with people with cancer. I was taking people back and forth. I was working at the, I had things to do. So I just came up with my formula system where I work from that one line and I show you how to make it really simple. You know, but like I said, is my things high end? No, but I think they're good. I think you will like the freedom of just working from a stitch book and a simple formula to get something simple. And then you can go on from there to wherever you want to go. Hey, go spin and do do whatever you want to do. And then I'll be right here. Come back and visit me. All right, let me get my sweater so I can show you the overview. Back in a minute. All right, a quick overview so that we can go ahead and get started talking about how to work up our formulas. Now, I was over at Joann's the other day. What did I go get? I don't know what I wasn't going to get anything in particular. I guess they had that new coupon book, so I was trying to use up some of those coupons, and I ran into my friend Paula. So she's doing just great. She said hello to all the YouTube viewers, and of course she's sewing, and she was over there looking at some fabric and some patterns. And I told her what I was getting ready to do. And while we were talking and looking at fabric, I came across this piece of fabric. Look, Paula, I said that I was sure that this was the correct color for the sweater that I was knitting. And look, can you see how, let's see, I hope I'm on. Can you see how pretty this piece of fabric is? I'm going to hold it up. It's a pink, but it's a mauve type pink. But I knew the moment I saw it, I knew it was the right shade for this sweater that I'm working on. So I guess I'll have to do, I haven't done a scarf video in a good while. It's been over a year, maybe a little longer. So I'll do another one. This is just a straight scarf. See, this was not the infinity type scarf. This is just where you make a tube and turn it inside out and just sew up the bottom, and then you can just put it around your neck, or you can tie it. I like to tie it like this, and let's see, can I loop it back over and just kind of wear it like that around your neck. Ooh. But let's see if that's on there. Oh yeah, see, I like to just wear it like that. I'm telling you, a scarf, it always makes a statement. The young people are not into scarves, but us ladies that really like to, a scarf makes a statement. And I only buy half a yard. So I bought this half a yard, brought it home, made a scarf, and voila. So, it's really pretty. And it was good to see my friend Paula. All right, so here we go, overview. Now this is one that I made a long time ago, and it's a little different than the one that I'm going to walk you through, in that I changed the neck a little bit. Let me flip it over. So this sweater, every size, we will start at the back, at the bottom edge, and simply do 1x1 ribbing. And I'll tell you when I get up to the top. And then you work towards your neck or the top of your shoulders. And I don't have to, I'm getting a little, I'm shrinking a little bit, so I don't have to work quite as far anymore. So I'll probably work up like 18 inches. And then at 18 inches, I will start to work these garter ridges for the neck, which I will walk you through, and then eventually bind off that neck. And then, of course, that's when you're going to need your straight needles to go over the front, to go over the shoulders, and down each front. We'll separate each front. And then, of course, let me just turn it back. But I've changed the neck some to make it easy, a lot easier for, like I said, new knitters. And for, for seasoned knitters like me, because the whole point of this is to keep it easy, keep it simple, so that you can get it done and enjoy your sweater for the summer. We're having summer. Now, like I said, if you choose one of the heavier yarns, like Havana or something like that, if you're in cold weather, it's a great sweater to have, a great knit. You can wear it over a pretty turtleneck. Oh, it's really pretty. So, doesn't have to be a summer sweater. But that's an overview. So we'll simply work up the back and down the front. And at the end, as we work down the front, you will be putting your front edge border. You know, that's how I usually do. I'll add my front edge border so that once we're done, we're not picking up stitches. The one thing I'll have to say about this one is so old, like I said, and I just knit them just whenever I get a whim. Just make sure, which I didn't on this, to keep things in proportion. That's what I really try to keep. All right, on my bottom, I forgot how many rows I had done, but when I did the sleeve, if you're seasoning it and you want to pick up and do the 1x1 ribbing, you know, 1x1 in the round, you just need a even number. Well, I kind of went over. So see, that kind of, look at it, throws it out of proportion to me because I put too many rows in this. So I'll remind you when we get to that part to make sure you keep everything. Really, this needed to be more rows at the bottom. If I had had more rows at the bottom to match the sleeve, see, it would have been a lot different. But those are little tips that you will just kind of, like I said, I've been knitting them so long, I just change it every time I knit it. But the numbers and the whole setup is the same. The construction makes it easy. Makes it easy to share too. And I hope you're going to find it easy to knit this sweater with me. Well, without further ado, I want to get into our, the formulas, the size, my information sheet. I've got wrote up a simple information sheet, but I want to go over it with you and then go over practicing how to make that formula. That's just to help new knitters. Seasoned knitters might pass on over that and go right into the knitting, as long as you know your numbers. All right, so I will see you back in just a minute and we will continue on. But oh, isn't this pretty? And my scarf. I just love this piece of fabric. Okay, I'm going to have to do another. I'm going to get my machine. This is just really easy to sew. It's just a tube. Oh, I love my scarf. So what do you think of that? All right. We'll be back and let's talk about our formulas. How to write up our formulas. All right. Now, on the information sheet that I'm going to put up on the screen. Of course, I don't expect you to really see this, every line of this, but I just want to kind of go over it's a very simple sheet, and just so you'll know what you're looking at and how to use it. First of all, we're using, of course, that US number 9 circular needle, and this is medium weight number 4 yarn. And I normally use my acrylic yarn. Like I said, you can, any brand, but try to keep it a number 4 weight. All right, now this lace, eyelet lace, there's only 4 rows, and it's kind of like the fan and feather stitch, where there's just 4 rows. Only 1 row is a pattern row, and you can have it anywhere in the pattern you want, depending on how you want to start. But I'm going to start with row 1 is a knit row. Row 2 will be a purl row. Then you will do the eyelet row. And that row is simply knit 4, yarn over, slip 1, knit 1, pass the slip stitch over, or you can do a slip, slip, knit. It just depends on which you like. Then you will knit 2 together, yarn over, and end with a knit 4. And of course that's going to be on the screen because I'm going to knit each row as I normally do. And then at the last row, of course, is a purl row because we have to take all those yarn overs. We have to work those yarn overs. So 4 simple rows. Now, the next thing is, let's see. Let's go down to the size chart. Now, I have a size chart. This is the same one that I have used before. If you have been with me and you have worked any of my sweaters, I work with the same numbers and, pretty much medium weight yarn. And I have given step after step on how, if you would either do a regular swatch like you'd normally do if you learned how to knit in a knit shop. I just went a step further, and I made a longer swatch and actually counted how many stitches in just one of the last videos. I don't know which one it is, but remember I used my pillow body? So I'm going to start doing that because I can make it even clearer now. So from one side of your body to your belly button, you can knit up a swatch of yarn. If you've not done this before with me, you just knit a long swatch and then count. Hold it to your waist, across to your belly button, to the, then you're going to count those stitches. Give it a little stretch too. Make it fit just like you're going to wear it. And you can sit there and take your time and count those stitches. And if that number of stitches is not a number, if it lands on a number that's not divisible by 4, then round the number up. That's a base number, and all you have to do is round it up to the nearest number divisible by 4. All that's going to do is make it easy to add stitches, since we use stitch books, to make our own designs since we're designing this sweater. And also it gives positive ease, and it makes the math so much easier. So for instance, on my basic sweater size, and this is using a US number 9, these are not the numbers for an 8. These are numbers for a US number 9. So if you don't have a 9, then we're talking about, you just can't jump in and put an 8 there. All right, so for medium size, just by plain math, since my numbers are compatible and divisible by 4, all right, math it's just a unique thing. And if you're afraid of math, the little simple math formula, you will learn. Just keep following me. Keep working at it. It is so easy once you get it. So for small size, I have it around 80. Now if you're really small, all you have to do is take 8 stitches from 80, and that becomes the base number. That's a number divisible by 4. See, everything is compatible. So for a small size, now, like I say, I don't expect you to see all of this. You're going to have it on the screen. I just want you to know what you're looking at. Medium, 8 stitches up, is 88. Large, which is what when I'm working on my 9, I can wear a large. Other sizes I may have to go up a little bit. But because knit stretches, I can wear a large. And for my large, it's 96 stitches. So I use that ever since you've been working with me. I say, okay, here I go. My large size is 96. It depends on the style of sweater, but this is the basic. These are my basic measurements or size using a US number 9. All right, then I went ahead and just calculated for an extra large, 104, XX, 112, and 3X, 120. Those are the base stitches. They're all compatible, and they're all divisible by 4 because they're rounded up. Does that make sense? Now, the next thing is to talk about the formula. That's the part that's fun. Okay, I'm going to switch. So now when you see this on the screen, now you have an idea of what you're going to be looking at. All right, here we go. Now I might change the camera. Let's see if I'm good. I might be good to go. Okay, let's see. Can I pull it over a little bit? Okay, how about that? All right, let's go. I think we can see that. All right. Of course, I'm going to use myself as an example, as I always do. This is the Eyelet lace. It's a multiple of 8 plus 4. This is Jay's working formula. This is how I taught myself how to knit. I don't troll and look and see what I can, take what somebody else has worked hard to do. This is something I have just practiced over and over and over for years and years. It fit me, so of course when I came on to YouTube, I didn't realize I was going to have to learn how to help fit other people. So that's why I went through the steps every time as much as possible to show you how I get it, so that you know I'm using what I worked hard and what I have tested over and over. All right, I'm large, so my number's already 96. That just solves a whole lot of problem. I don't have to swatch this sweater because I already know I'm using a US number 9, and for that my number is 96. And I just share it with you what you try to get as close to one of those sizes as possible by counting the stitches and just rounding it up to a number divisible by 4. So the first thing I have to do is say, all right, I have 96 stitches and it's a multiple of 8 plus 4. Well, if 8 goes into 96, if I do 12, that'll hit me right on 96. Well, then I don't have a place for the plus 4, so I have to drop down. So I'm going to take 8 times 11. That will give me 88 stitches. Then I can add the plus 4. That will equal 92 stitches. That helps. That gives me room to work. So 92 is the number that I will have, how many stitches I'll have in the lace in this block. You see, I block it off. Now I can write a formula. If I take 92 from 96, that's what I've allowed myself, that is my number, I shall have 4 stitches left over. Well, I just divide those 4 stitches in half. And on one side, I'm going to put a 2-stitch border. I just make a 2-stitch border because I have those stitches left over. You can't just throw them away, you have to use them. Then in this block are the 92 stitches. That's 8 times 11 for me is 88, plus the 4 is 92. That's where the lace will go, right there. Then I have those other 2 stitches left over. So that makes a border on this side. Now if I add this border, the lace, and this border, I will get 96 stitches is what I needed to get to. Does that make sense? Simple math. I started with 96 and I have to manipulate these numbers, use them up so I can get back to 96. But there's a little thing you have to remember on these sweaters where we're going to use 1x1 ribbing. And there's nothing wrong with 2x2, but I just find when you're larger, 1x1 doesn't pull in as much and it keeps your sweater a little more into proportion. If you use 2x2 just because you like it, then you will have your sweater will pull in so much at the bottom, it just throws it out of proportion, especially if you are a large size. Just saying. So, for a 1x1 rib stitch, when it's flat, like we're going to work this sweater, I need an odd number. So I simply add 1 to this 96 and voila. My cast on number for the back of this sweater as we work up the back, up to the shoulders, bind off the neck and then work down each front. But I start with a cast on of 97 stitches for my large. Simple. Now I want to see. Let's do another size. Only because I just really enjoy sharing it with you and I want you to understand. If you don't understand, you're not going to do it. Small. By math and my little formulas, I'm using 80 stitches. You know, I have no idea your body, how that 80 is going to fit on your body. It's up to you to try to count your stitches to get as close to how many stitches it will take to go from one side of your waist to the belly button. I just use one side, or you can go all the way across the waist and round it up. But you know, if you have up to one side of your belly button, if you have up to 10, you know you're going to have 10 on this side. Does that make sense? Hope I don't confuse you. Let me stop. The lace is still 8 plus 4. Multiple of 8 stitches plus 4. All right. 8 times 10 will give me 80. Well, then I don't have a place for the plus 4. So I have to drop down. 8 times 9 is 72. Now, I hope this is showing up. Ooh, I just dropped something. Maybe I should lift it up. I just want to make sure I'm on. Okay, so 8 times 9 is 72. Now I can add the plus 4. That gives me 76 stitches. If I take 76 stitches first, that goes into the block. Now I need to take 76 stitches from 80 stitches to see how many I have left over. And of course, look, it comes out even all the time because our numbers are rounded up to the number divisible by 4, and they're compatible. Of course, that's going to leave me 4 stitches, and if I divide 4 stitches by 2, then I can have 2 on one side and 2 on this side. Now I can write a formula. A border of 2 in the block, 76 stitches for the lace, and then I end with a border of 2. And if I add a border, 76, and a border, I get 80 stitches. And then, of course, I'm doing a 1-by-1 ribbing. I have to add, because I need an odd number. If this was in the round, 80 would be perfect. But when we work it flat, I need an odd number, so I add 1. My cast on number for a small is 81 stitches. Quick and easy. One more real quick. Just so that you can just kind of be in the mind to see. Now, hope I'm showing it right. Okay, extra large. All right, extra. Let's see if I can back out just a little bit. Okay, extra large. Hey, it works for any size. I've allowed 112 stitches. The lace is still the same, a multiple of 8 plus 4. Okay, 8 times 14 is going to give me 112. Well, that's not going to leave me room for the plus 4, so I drop down. 8 times 13 is 104 stitches. Now I can add the plus 4, and that will equal, in the box, 108 stitches. I can take this 108 stitches and subtract it from the 112 that's allowed. And guess what? I get 4 stitches. Divided by 2 leaves me 2 and 2. Ain't this easy? All right, a border of 2. I'm writing up my formula now. You know, I years ago I made up this thing. I called it a working formula. It just fit for me because I just was, you know, I just wanted. I was tired of 5 pages and 6 charts. I wanted some way to keep myself knitting without having to, you know, have to work through that. So the border for this extra large is the working formula, a border of 2, 108 stitches, where's the lace, that's in the block, and then the extra border. I add these together, I get 112, which I have allowed myself, or that person, stitches. But I need to add 1 stitch for the ribbing to make it an odd number, so my cast on number is 113 stitches. Her cast on for this XX large is 113 stitches. So, I hope I explained it. I hope you could see it. I just wanted you to know so that when you got the, when you saw the information sheet, as I've shared before, that you could take your time and to understand what you're seeing. Now there's nothing else to do. The sheet will appear on the screen. You take your time. I've walked you through some of the sizes. Just look at it. Easy to do. And you'll be able to write up your own formula. I'm giving you the size, but I'm giving you the practice how to write up your own formula for your size. And then we'll be ready to stitch. So, take your time, see the information sheet, and we'll be back ready to stitch. Information, you had a chance to see the information sheet on the screen, so we're ready to go. Now on that sheet, I also gave you a practice sample of an eyelet lace, either scarf or neck warmer. So I'm going to use that cast on number of stitches just to save time, and then I will go to the sweater that I'm working in real time. But we're all going to start in the same place, okay? whether we're working the scarf or the sweater. And I've cast on for this scarf 37 stitches. Alright, first thing we are going to do, of course, is do our 1-by-1 ribbing, because that's why we added that extra stitch. So everywhere, I started the same every time. The first and last stitch, even on a ribbing, I call it an edge stitch. Either you can slip this first and last stitch, or like me, I knit the first and last stitch. So let me just show you how it looks. So my first stitch is the edge stitch. I knit that one stitch. Now, every time I do 1-by-1 ribbing or whatever ribbing, unless I'm following someone else's pattern, or for some reason I need to make this a right side row, when I look at this row and I see those purl bumps, I call this a wrong side. So for me, I always start at the same. After I knit that first stitch or slip it, I put my yarn in front. Now I'm going to start the 1-by-1 ribbing. I purl 1, knit 1, okay, then yarn in front, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. Now you're just going to continue across the row. On the 1-by-1 ribbing, I started with a purl stitch, so when I get to this end, I will end with a purl stitch, and then I'll have that one stitch left that's an edge stitch that either you slip or you knit or whatever you do. So I will see you at the end, and we'll be ready to turn. Back in just a second.